Hello guys, you're welcome to Banter Blitz, late Friday night, directly from my kitchen. I've just moved to a new rented apartment, and due to renewal works, I don't have an access to other rooms. Well, probably it has some advantages, of course, because at least there is no echo effect here in the kitchen, but maybe you will hear the sound of the fridge. I don't know. I hope you don't. So let's start the show. And by the way, I have good news. So this week it will be not the only one. Probably one more will be on Sunday. So if you won't have a chance to play today, no worries. Just enjoy the show and play me on Sunday. Okay. So let's get to play finally. If something works bad, I mean the sound, the picture, just let me know in the comments section. Okay, I do hope everything works correctly. Let's do this. Okay, so I already have several challenges, so let's pick up something. So whom to play? Okay, let's start just with Night Fight. Accept. And I play with black. I play with black and d4. Okay, so something closed. By the way, I didn't have enough time to prepare correctly. I didn't have enough time to play some blitz for the last 2 weeks approximately, so I expect very tough fight today in each and every game. Okay, knight f3, so looks like it should be something like Queen's Indian. G3. Okay, let's try something new. So usually I play bishop a6 here. Let's try c6 instead. Okay, Blunder says all well. That's great. Okay, bishop goes to e7. So I want to just castle and play d5. And okay, my opponent wants to play e4, so probably d5 should be played right now. I mean, I want to achieve a Catalan, because I do love playing Catalan with black, so why not, after all. And this opening setup helps black to avoid some tricky lines in the main line of Queen's Indian. I mean, Queen a4, Queen c2, and so on, against bishop a6. So my opponent wants to define the pawn structure immediately. An interesting question. What kind of music do you like? Asks HasJ96. I do like rock and roll, some jazz and classic music as well. So cd5. Okay, let's take with the c pawn. So rock and roll means all the rock music. All the rock music. Starting from Rolling Stones, let's say Beatles, and finishing with the Slipknot. Castles and castles. Okay. So position should be more or less equal, I think. Now it's the question where to develop my bishop. Typically, a bishop should be on a6 to be more or less active, but here it might be more useful on b7 just to prevent white's e4 plan. Yeah, rook to e1, preparing e4. So yeah, maybe it makes sense just to put the bishop on b7 to stop this. And after knight e5, I think that simple knight to d7 should be well. I mean, I want to exchange this active knight on the e5, and with this move I just completed development. So Chronic Student says, Andre, there was a show done by Nicholas where he analyzed the games of premium players they submitted to him. Would you be able to cover for him? Well, I should discuss this with Chess24 team. Maybe it would be possible later, this year or next year. I don't know. Maybe. Thanks for the idea, Chronic student. Okay, bishop to f4. What is next? So, what is next? I can take on e5 immediately, but maybe it's too early for doing this. It makes sense for me to complete the development with the rook c8. It's also possible to play a6. I think a6 should be played. I just want to play b5 at some point, grabbing the space, maybe then putting my knight on b6, and so on. And also covering b5, so preventing knight b5 or anything connected with this sort of activity. Now rook c8 is okay. So immediate rook c8 could be met by knight b5, I guess. a3. a3. Okay, so white wants to play b4 himself or not? I don't know. Okay, let's try b5 here. I mean, if white plays b4, then I could probably just take on e5 and then transfer my knight to c4. White will have less chances to occupy c5. And this might be critical. Yeah, let's try it. So knight takes e5. So we have completely symmetrical pawn structure. And now, yeah, I think knight e7 should be okay. My knight goes directly to c4. Should be very good for me. And white's knight is still on c3, so it takes a long time to get to c5. That's the point. e4. So to take on e4 simply, or what? Yeah, let's try to take on e4. Now I guess rook takes c1 first. So white has a choice between taking on c1 with the queen or with the bishop. Both look quite promising for me, I mean. Yeah, now bishop is passive, but the knight is going to occupy c5. It might be dangerous, so I will try this just to decrease the pressure on c5 square. And now what? Now it's interesting. So d4 became an isolated pawn, so why not bishop to f6? Attacking the pawn simply. So yeah, now I guess knight to c4 deserves attention. But maybe it was not that cool. I mean, probably just knight d5 was better. Yeah, now my h7 is hanging. That's not very good. That's not very good. Man. Okay, I'll play g6. I don't have a lot of time, so I have to be faster at the moment. Okay, let's try this. Simply playing against d4 pawn. Okay. I don't think bishop g6 gives white anything. And d4 is hanging. Oh, okay. What did that? Is it really dangerous? Not sure. Well, okay. Let's protect everything. I have an extra minor piece. What to do now? A lot of choices. But okay. Let's start with this. Where the queen goes? That's the question. Okay, now e5, I guess. Should be just okay. No time. Shit. Yeah, no time, and this means a draw. Okay, not that bad for the start of the show. Just like I said, I didn't have enough time to train this week, so that's the problem. Okay, I should be faster. Okay. Another interesting question, by the way. Mostrovski, are you a movie guy or literature guy? Well, mainly literature guy, probably. Yeah, so I do like literature, I do like movies, but if I have a free time, I rather read. Okay, I hope I answered your question. So let's have a look at this game. Let's try to understand what went wrong. So first of all, I think that b4 was already a mistake, or a sort of mistake, because now I have an access to c4 square. Well, at first glance, we both have an access to this weakened square. So I have an access to c4, white has an access to c5. But the point is that my knight gets to c4 and white's knight just remains on c3, a bit passive, and so on. So probably after knight takes e5, which is, well, a natural choice, but I'm not sure that it is completely correct. I mean, d takes e5 was possible, attacking my knight with the idea of e4 next move. So if my knight goes to d7, just continuing with the plan, I mean knight b6 and knight c4, then just e4, I think, could be promising. I'm not completely sure, but at least looks interesting, right? So maybe knight takes e5 wasn't that correct. What to do instead? The other question, an interesting one. Knight to b6 immediately, but then probably knight to d3. And, well, I'm not sure about the evaluation of this position. Probably I can grab the a3 pawn, but, well, white is not forced to give it up. So yeah, I don't know. Knight takes c5 looks good, but after d takes c5, it's not that simple to find a good square for the knight, because knight d7 gives white a chance to play e4, and if knight to h5, well, the knight will be misplaced there. Don't know. Yeah, maybe everything was all right. I mean, maybe even b4 was good. But after bishop e5, I think I'm already doing very, very well, because my knight gets to c4 if nothing else happens, and after e4, I have this interesting play against isolated pawn, and well, here after bishop e3, I guess knight c4 was kind of inaccuracy. It was better to put the knight immediately on d5 than to double my heavy pieces against d4 pawn and then maybe maneuvering the knight somewhere. So black is by no means worse here. That's my point. So a lot of interesting questions. For example, who are your favorite players historically and among current players? So, very good question. I will just pick up several names. Let's say Capablanca, Akiba Rubinstein, Gary Kasparov, for sure, probably Robert Fischer, and nowadays, well, I'm not sure, maybe still Vishy Anand and Vasily Ivanchuk. Okay, so I hope I answered this question. So let's continue. The next challenger was Shadowmate, accept. And Knife Fight says, thanks for the game. Thanks to you. Let us continue. So e4, e5. Okay, nothing new. But here let's play Philidor. Do you buy anything on Black Friday? Probably. I didn't decide yet. Knight f6, knight c3, and okay, let's play g6. Bishop e2, bishop g7. I just continue developing my pieces, and now I use the open e-file to exert some pressure on e4. f3, this weakens e3 square, so bishop is kind of vulnerable, which means, can I play just d5 right now? So let's see, d5, bishop gets to g5, pinning my knight, then probably c5 or something. Or, well, I'm not sure. Okay, d5, bishop to g5. Then c5. But, well, this is a bit dangerous, I mean. Don't know, to play d5 or not. Okay, d5, bishop g5, I take on e4, he takes with the pawn, and, well, I'll have some problems. Okay, I'll just keep developing my pieces instead. Okay, tell me guys something more about this idea of making a show dedicated to your games. I mean, someone said that Nicholas charged something for this. This might be interesting. So, tell me more, please. Bishop d4. I'm gonna play rook b8, but a7 might be the case. Maybe not. Okay, let's play rook to b8 first. Jet to attack b2. Another question, you need 62 more ELO points to beat GM? No, I need 62 and more maybe ELO points just to have a ELO that gives me the right to claim for a Grandmaster norm, but only if I have 3 norms already. I have only 1, so the rating is not enough, that's my point. So bishop c4, let's play a5. Nicholas analyzes any given game for €30 on YouTube. Okay, guys. So for this purpose, you just have to help me, okay? To make my YouTube channel more popular. And for this purpose, you can take part in the contest that I announced several shows ago, and you have the time until the 1st of December. The idea is very simple. You just have to share one of my videos, I mean from my channel somewhere, and the better for you to provide me with many different links. In this case, you will have a chance to win the main prize, and the main prize is the individual Banter Blitz session, one-on-one for free, 1 hour. Of course, with the analysis of each game, a quick analysis after each of the game played, and of course, some guidance for future improvement. So I think it is a good price, and all the details you can find. All the details you can find on the page with the post here at Chess24, or just find the Facebook post of mine. So it looks like I already messed up a bit. But okay, let's take on a4. b3, rook goes to a2, and oh, and knight goes to c1. Come on, I missed that. Oh man, what a crazy blunder. So I have to sacrifice the exchange now. Yeah, I'm in a very bad shape. You can see that. Knight goes to f4. Okay, I should go away with the rook. I think I don't have any other choice. Yeah, and takes on b4. Yeah, very bad. Very, very bad, but what to do? Okay, let's keep playing. Queen to d3. Another question. Why not you accept my challenge? Well, I actually have a freedom of choice. I mean, I can accept anybody's challenge. I don't have to accept each and every challenge. Okay, so do I have some sort of compensation? Maybe a little. So my bishop might be quite annoying very, very soon. And my rook now becomes quite active. That is also a good sign. So maybe I still have some chances. So what to do now? I have to play over dark squares somehow. So let's try this maneuver. Queen gets to b6. Yeah. And what is next? That is an interesting question. To put the rook on h5 maybe. Yeah, let's try it. Looks fun at least. Yeah, that was just a very bad game of mine. But let's keep fighting. Not very sure how, but okay. Let's just keep. Rook to f3. Well, I already don't know what to do. Let's come back to c5. So maybe I will have some sort of object of attack on c2. Yeah, let's try it. Looks like the only object I can exploit. Now the rook is hanging. Okay, Okay, let's put the bishop to this active position, but what is next? And nothing, actually. Simply nothing. Okay, I'll protect the pawn. Very bad position. Very bad position already. Do I have a little chance? Yeah, I do. Okay. I came back to the game. Oops. And the rook on g4 is kind of trapped. That's very nice. Yeah, this position is already lost for white because knight can't move. Rook goes to c1. I have a couple of extra pawns. But, well, white has a great position. Anyway, mainly because of my blunder at when I took the pawn, when I played this rook b4, I was too concentrated on talking to you guys. So that's why probably I missed several blows here. And another reason is, of course, a general reason. So I'm in a very bad shape. That's the main problem. Of course, rook b4 is just awful. After after this, maybe it deserved attention. Maybe, I don't know, to play knight d7 here, just to exchange this dark squared bishops, then to put the queen on f6, then the knight on c5, and so on. So long term, it should be, of course, a bit better for white because of the pawn structure. So it's better for white. But typically black has enough counterplay here, so the reason is that the b file is open for my rook, so I have the pressure against b2. I have very nice spot on c5 for my knight. White's knight is not that active usually. Yeah, but okay, so it's just a normal Philidor. I wanted to play d5 in the opening right after f3 move. Just to exploit the vulnerability of the bishop on e3, but I was not sure because of this bishop g5. So, for example, if I play h6 here, bishop takes, for example, bishop takes, queen takes, attacking the knight on d4, then what? Then knight goes to b5, attacking c7, d5 is also hanging, so position is quite tricky here. And I'm not sure what the evaluation. I didn't want to blunder anything because, as I said, I'm in a very bad shape. So I wanted to play something solid, but maybe it deserved attention. I mean, just to play d5. I don't know. Anyway, good game, Shadowmate. Thanks a lot for this experience. Let's continue. Oh, great question. Sir Alex FTW asks, Andre, are you keeping your masters for the Movember thing? Oh, come on. I'm keeping my mustache and my beard just because I don't have the time for 3 minutes. Yeah, you know, I just devote almost all my time for renewal works at the moment. That's why I look a bit strange. Okay. So, are you some sort of a moderator or so? I'm not sure if it is directed to me. So let's just continue with the chess stuff. Moby is the next very tough player. And again, I play with black. So d4. Okay. Knight goes to f6. Nothing strange so far. Now bishop g5. Oh, come on. Trompovsky or Trompovsky. I don't know. There was some sort of trolling about that when Carlsen played it in the very first game. So knight to f3, knight to d7, let's say. Bishop to d3. Okay, there are a lot of different possibilities for black. I will just follow this idea. Now I'll just try to castle. And queen goes to, let's say, e7, because there is nothing to do on f6 anyway. And that position is flexible, maybe not that active in the center. We can see that white has more space at the moment. But well, I have pair of bishops. I guess it might be interesting long term. I'll try just to complete my development and then to see which undermining move in the center will be good. So now white has the idea of playing e5 definitely. Maybe it makes sense for me just to play e5 myself right away, just to prevent that. And if white plays d5 in this situation, I'll be not that against, because, well, it will be some sort of probably Stainitz in real office, or just King's Indian, typical pawn structure when I have pair of bishops. So white has less chances to play c4, c5 and exert some pressure without his dark squared bishop. That's my plan. Moreover, white already played a4, so whenever white plays c4, well, this weakens pawn structure on the queen side completely, and I'm just doing very well. The question is where to put my knight, on c5 or to try to get somewhere to f4, but there I will be met by g3 at any moment, so I guess c5 should be just okay. Now let's bishop to d7. Attacking a4 second time. And now probably f5, or it's too early. Well, I'm not sure. I usually like just to prepare everything, so I'll make this move. Maybe it was just an overcautious, but well. After f5, let's say if white takes on f5, I take with the pawn. G file becomes open, so king h8 might be useful. Anyway, also an interesting idea, just to prepare everything correctly. I mean, to play this move, rook to e8 first. Then, if necessary, my queen can get to d8, and well, only then f5. I just prepare everything gradually. By the way, a Rubinstein maneuver is possible in this position. I mean, queen d8, then queen to a8, queen to a7, and well, my queen is active. But now this forces me to protect a5, and maybe it's already the time to forget about Rubinstein maneuver. So, okay, let's forget about it. And let's try this finally. I think it's time to play something active after all. Takes on f5, g takes on f5. So now position becomes quite dynamic. f4. Okay, I think I don't have a lot of alternatives here, so I'll play just e4. Now my bishop d7 feels a bit stupid. That's bad. But c3 is hanging. That's good. And d5 is kind of weak. That is also good. But first about c3 pawn. If I play queen f6, knight goes to e2. Okay, so white still has enough resources to protect pawn c3. So, okay. Let's play queen to f7 instead. Rook goes to d1. How to continue with the attack against d5? Bishop c8 deserves attention. Yeah, let's try it. Anyway, there is nothing to do on d7. So I want to maneuver my bishop somewhere. At the same time, this move frees d7 square, so at some point I can probably play knight e7, knight f6. Maybe it makes sense to do right now. So knight e7 and knight f6. Yeah, c4. So knight to f6, because I have another interesting square, which is g4. Does it make sense to occupy it immediately or not? Not that sure. Okay. So let's just try to expand here. Oh, come on, I missed that. How stupid my play today is. Very stupid, I guess. Yeah. I don't like my position. Thanks God I have pair of bishops, because I have a good control over important squares, but let's just imagine white has, let's say, a dark squared bishop, and well, in that case, white would be much better. No questions. Okay, knight on c6 is not that dangerous, so I can probably focus on the g file. Okay, knight takes h2, king takes... Okay, h5 is hitting, come on, forget about it. So, let's try something like this. Just to put the rook on g7 and another rook to g8. And to see how it works. Looks like the only sensible maneuver for me. Anyway. And what about just... Can I triple my heavy pieces? Yeah, probably. Let's take it. That was very bad. What am I doing? Just don't understand. Playing like a patzer. Lucky me. How bad was my position? Now it's more or less fine. Oh God. Still not that great. Didn't understand that. Yeah, now it's winning. Well, very bad game again. So I think I had a good position out of the opening, but then I started doing something really wrong. I don't know. So let's say the moment when I played e4. So I think it's okay. But after queen e3, I should have played something else, definitely. So this maneuver of bishop c8, come on. It makes no sense, really. What else? Not sure. Maybe queen f6 still was an idea. So knight e2 looks like the only move to protect c3. But I was struggling to find something here. Maybe here bishop goes to c8. I mean, with the idea of bishop b7 or bishop a6. And if knight goes to a3, let's say, then probably bishop to b7. Still doesn't look like a good position for black. I mean, good enough to hope for an advantage. Let's say rook to d1, because after c4 I have some sort of a trick like queen to b2 maybe, attacking the knight, and the bishop is hanging there on c2. So this might be not very good for white. But rook d1, and I guess everything is more or less fine, right? Yeah, knight d3, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes. I can't see anything specific there. So, yeah. Actually, what I did, I think h5 was already sort of, well, great in accuracy. But without this move, I don't even know what to do here. I'm not a big expert in positions like this, you know. So I never really play King's Indian, so to understand this sort of positions, you definitely have to be a King's Indian player. I don't know. Maybe you guys have some suggestions what to do with black here. As for white, well, everything was more or less fine. But of course, in the end, there were a lot of interesting possibilities somewhere here when I started doing something strange, really. So queen to d5, bishop here, rook to e2. And I played queen f8, very strange move. Then I played this bishop to f6. So first of all, here it was possible just to grab on f5. After which I think white is very close to winning because of the threats. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, definitely yes. Because if bishop g5, of course, queen takes g6. So rook is hanging, right? So I don't have the time for it. I have to protect my rook somehow. Then knight goes to f7 check. h5 is hanging. Come on. Position looks just terrible for black. Okay, let us continue. And Kramnik student. One of my favorite opponents. Let us play, my friend. You're welcome. e4, e5. Well, if it will be one more black game, I mean game with black pieces, I will play something else. I mean, I'm a bit tired of playing e5. Okay, in this game I will play knight c6. I wasn't completely satisfied with the results of Philidor, so let's play just normal Ruy Lopez. Castles, bishop e7. Castles. Nothing new at the moment, but let's see. Come on, I've blundered the pawn or what? What the hell, huh? Come on, I've just missed something. Oh, how bad is that? Come on. Yeah. Now you can see what is the bad shape. It's really very bad. You just blunder everything, you confuse the move order in the opening that you play for, I don't know, entire career almost. And, well, okay. So let's play without a pawn. Oh, God. I can't believe it. I can't believe I did that. Crazy. Just crazy. Oh, man. Okay. f4. Well, this gives me some chances, I hope. But anyway, white is much better. Having the extra pawn. Okay, Blackmar says, hi, Andre. Hi, Blackmar. You're just in time to see how bad I am today. No pawn, no real compensation, nothing. Yeah. Very bad. Okay. Enough. With this sweeping, let's try to find at least something in this position. It's very hard. But okay. Okay, so let's protect the pawn. Because to blunder another one on c5 could be just fatal. It's already quite annoying, but, well, I still have some chances, I guess. Okay. No center. Okay, I just keep whipping. Stop it, Andre. Concentrate. Focus on the game. Try to find at least something here. Okay, I'll take this knight. It's really irritating. And now f5. Is it a counterplay? What I wanted to achieve? Yeah, okay. So my opponent forgot to protect the bishop on e3, so it gives me some chances. Well, nice. Nice. So now what? To take on e4 several times, or to take on c3 and play with this opposing card bishops and the bad pawn structure. Yeah, I want to try this. It's interesting, at least. Now it takes on e4. It's more or less forced. And now bishop takes e4, I guess, and then bishop takes g2. Looks fine. Yeah. Good. Great. Great. And c3 drops, I think. Yeah, why not to take it? Well, very nice outcome. I mean, it was a very bad position in the opening, but now it's fine. Now it's just fine. Looks like even just a winning position. Okay, there are a lot of different ways to roam. Let's just take it. One more pawn on a4. And should be done. Yeah, it's just lost. It's just lost already. Too many pawns, I mean. Check. One more check. And let's just protect the pawn on b6. And start pushing pawns. Okay. One more check. Looks like h4 is mine as well. Yeah. So I was very, very lucky in this game because I forgot that e5 is hanging after rook e1. Of course, b5 was a move and then d6. But I just confused something, and after this, well, achieved a bad position. Oh, everything was done just great. I mean, all this, but knight g4 was probably an unnecessary move. Instead of that, it was just a guide to continue with central play. I mean, rook to e1, and well, white is doing very well with extra pawn. This knight from e5 can go to c4, then white even continue with the g4, f5, and this sort of attack on the king side. So everything was just very good for white. I mean, it was already a winning position, I guess. So knight g4 gave me a chance. I mean, I took on g4, and now probably h takes g4 was necessary to do. But even in this case, I think I have some counterplay after f5 move using the p. But still, it was much better than queen takes g4, because now I just play f5 now with the tempo. Then I just do this, and everything is more or less forced, right? So just appears that black's centralization is great, much better than white's centralization, and well, black grabs several pawns. White has nothing but a very bad pawn structure here. Probably the best chance for white was to play rook e1 here, just to have opposing colored bishops, but I don't believe it changes the evaluation of the position, because black is already very good. I don't know, even bishop h3 should work here. I can't see a refutation. And then gradually, well, position of the king should be decisive. I mean, white's king, in my opinion, is much more exposed than black's one, so I have more chances just to finish the game with a direct attack. Okay, so let us continue. And I guess it is the time for white pieces. So please, I do hope I will get white pieces. So Patserzaurus or Saurus, I don't know, accept. And white pieces, okay. A miracle just happened. Sicilian, okay. Let's play something tricky. Let's play c3 here. Why not? Knight to c6, okay. That was predicted. e6 castles. Queen to e2. Rook to d1. And now e5. e5, come on. After castling, I play e5. Yeah. Some sort of Mora gambit, I guess. I don't remember the name of this opening line. Oh, queen to c7, allow me knight to b5. Is it really good for black? I don't think so. But maybe it still works. Okay, I will start with bishop f4 move. And now bishop g5. And we have sort of, I don't know, Sveshnikov. Or something like that. Okay, what is here? Knight to d5 looks very, very promising. Let's play it. Do I have anything here? I'm not sure, but At least I have some pressure along the light square, so bishop b5 is coming. I have never played it seriously, but general ideas are quite simple to understand. What the hell is that? Knight to a5. So check, and then b4, trapping the knight. Yeah. Okay, I'll just take on e7 first, and then play b4. I can't see what to do. The knight is trapped, simply. And now if a6 counter-attacking the bishop, I just take on d7 first, then take on a5. Yeah, white is winning here already. Knight a5 was a decisive mistake, of course. So it was necessary just to put the knight on b8, I think. Yeah, bishop takes here, and pawn takes here. Completely winning position. Just an extra minor piece for nothing. No compensation. Oh, g5. g5. Come on. Yeah, it was possible immediately. I mean, knight e5 against g5. Right away. Yeah, so I'm not an expert in this. Probably Blackmar knows much more than me in this Mora Gambit. And as far as I remember, an interesting try for Black not to give me a chance to play e5 so quickly. So one of basic ideas is to put the bishop on g4, just to exchange the bishop for that knight and reduce the pressure on e5 square, and then develop the pieces. I mean, after maybe immediately here bishop g4. I'm not sure if it works well. So if you want to know more about Mora, right, ask Blackmar, I guess. He will help. And we continue with the other challengers. So Sir Alex, I accept. And again, black pieces. Black pieces, come on. So let's repeat the e5 stuff. I mean, without confusing the order of moves this time. Okay, so Scotch. And this variation. Okay, I expected the main line, but this one is also an interesting try for white. Castles first. Now d5. Oh, bishop g5 immediately. Okay. What is that? So, I used to see e5 as a main choice. e5, c5, and only then bishop g5 if white wants immediate bishop g5. Okay, let's check. Bishop takes c3, pawn takes, then pawn takes e4, I guess. What is next? So bishop takes f6, queen takes f6, bishop takes e4. I can take on c3, I think. Some sort of extra pawn, okay? A doubled one, but still an extra pawn. Because if bishop takes e4 immediately, I can take on d1, and then to take on e4. Okay, I'll take on c3. Why not? Now take on e4. Is it an extra pawn or not? Well, not really. I mean, I don't believe I will have a chance to keep this pawn for a long time. But I think still worth trying, so I'll take here. Exchanging queens immediately. Okay, let's take it. And now what? Bishop to f5 or bishop to where? Bishop to d7 is too passive, in my opinion. Bishop to e6 deserves attention, definitely. So what is white's plan? Probably just to take on c6, then to play bishop a4 and bishop b3. That's a possible idea. So maybe bishop e6 after all. Bishop takes c6, I play rook to b8. But there is no pressure. I mean, no threat. But rook to b6 is coming. Yeah, let's try bishop to e6. I exert some pressure on white's a2 pawn. Now rook to b8, creating a threat of rook b2. Maybe I have some sort of initiative here, maybe not. Let's see. So if rook to b1, probably I will have rook to b6, attacking the bishop. And if rook takes b6, I improve my pawn structure. Interesting. Interesting endgame. Very close to equal, but I think since I have an access to opponent's weaknesses and my opponent has nothing to attack currently, I have at least some sort of initiative. a4. Okay. So now what? Rook to b2 deserves serious attention. Just attacking c2 pawn. Rook b4 is also interesting with the idea of rook c4. But I guess rook b2 is more direct and more promising. Bishop to e4. Let's occupy the b file. After all, that is the only thing I have in this position. Maybe potentially I have a better pawn structure, so if I manage to play a5, I will have pawns placed on correct squares. On the king side, I will be forced more or less to play g6, I think, just to prevent all kind of activities connected with the back rank. So yeah. But here I guess I have a chance to play a5 just to fix opponent's pawn on the light square. At the moment at least I have more active rooks and better pawn structure, I guess. Okay, f4. I wanted to play g6 anyway, just to make my rook free to maneuver. And now I have a new target. It is f4 pawn, so I can play rook b4 at some point, and it might be annoying for white. So what white will do now? Rook d2. Okay, this ignores my threat, so I think I can do this. Maybe with the other rook was more accurate, avoiding this c3 tactics. Because c3 might be annoying, true. So if I take on d2, white takes on b4 and a pawn, one of a sudden becomes very dangerous. So maybe after c3 I will have to go back with the rook. Oh, there is an interesting counter blow, rook takes a4. And if rook takes a4, rook takes d2, but then rook takes a5, not very good. Okay, so my opponent chose another move, so now I can just grab this pawn on f4. And I'm a pawn up, after all. I can take here, and now let us just centralize the king. Okay. What about this pawn now? And this one. Second rank. Bishop c6. Okay. I think I have the time to improve a bit. Oh, maybe it was a blunder. Okay, what to do now? Let's attack this. If rook a5, rook c3 check and takes on c6. If king d4, I think I can just play... Yeah, rook to d2. And bishop d7 is very important. Whew. Now it should be winning, of course. Yeah, okay. Very tough game. Very tough game. So in the end, I don't know. I started playing not very good. So probably I missed something. Let's have a look on this position after bishop to c6. Yeah. So to bishop c6, I think it was better for me to start with the rook c2. Just attacking this c3 pawn, so white should protect it somehow. Maybe king to d4. After which I have this move. So, with good chances to convert this advantage. Yeah, and for white, I don't think that this whole setup with the bishop g5 makes sense. Because it gives me a chance to, well, first of all, just comfortably equalize the chances. But maybe even achieve something more. Because after bishop g5, I mean, everything is more or less forced, right? So queen takes f6, takes here, queen takes c3, and I have an extra pawn. And maybe it was necessary to play something more active here with white. So the only compensation for missing material, I think, is that, first of all, my pawn structure is not ideal on the queen side, but another thing that white has some sort of advantage in time, advantage in development. It is not that great because, well, I need only one move to complete the development, to put my bishop somewhere on e6 or something. But, well, just exchanging queens in this position was too dry, in my opinion. Maybe queen h5 deserved attention. Maybe rook e1 with the idea of rook e3 and then something like bishop h7, I don't know, queen h5, but well, h3 is controlled, right? So still not that easy to develop the initiative there on the king side. But if I were you, I mean, I would definitely play something like that. So avoid queen's exchange and trying to create some threats against the king maybe or something like that. So the endgame was actually very promising for black, because after queen f3, bishop f3, again, white has to spend some time to regain the material, after which, well, black achieves this position, in which black starts first occupying important files, creating concrete threats to white's pawns mainly. Pay attention, c7 and a7 are dark squared pawns, so your bishop has no access to those pawns, and queenside is what matters here in this position. So I definitely have more chances on the queen side than white. And after rook b1, which is actually possible with this rook or with the another one, the point that if I take on b1, rook takes, and if bishop takes a2, then rook to a1, kind of regaining the pawn on a7 then. I wanted to play something different. I wanted to play rook b6, attacking the bishop, and well, preparing something like rook to b8. Maybe it deserved attention for white. I don't know, bishop to a4. Well, in this case, I can take on b1 and take on a2, but then rook goes to b7, activating the rook. So yeah, maybe it's still a normal position for white. I mean, equal one. I'm not sure, because after rook to b8, well, looks like I still have great chances to occupy the b file. If rook takes on b6, I'll be probably recaptured with the c pawn, maybe with the a pawn, but the point is to improve the pawn structure. If rook goes away from the b file, I can play something like c5, preparing for bishop b3 to meet it with the c4. So I mean, a lot of chances for black, and actually what white does here is trying to make a draw. I think not very fun. So the main line is not bishop to g5, but taking on d5 first to prevent this, right? And after cd5, bishop g5 or h3. It is a modern try, just to ensure the comfortable position for the queen on f3, means controlling g4 square, preventing some sort of activity like bishop g4, knight g4 at some point. Then queen goes to f3, then bishop goes to g5. So it is a well-known position. In my opinion, it is equal, but it's quite easy to play with white because the plan is quite natural. Black has a drawback on the queen side. I mean, the pawn structure is not that cool, and if position becomes easier, typically white has some great perspectives. That's why white tries to simplify this position to get to the endgame and so on. Okay, just look at this position at your software. I mean, maybe at ChessBase or here at Chess24. By the way, there is already a very good online database. I just use it from time after time. By the way, I used it during my latest trip to Hamburg, I mean in Bundesliga. So I was very lazy. I decided not to take my laptop with me, so the only chance to prepare for my opponent in the train was to use this online Chess24 database, right? So very convenient thing. Okay, so another game, d4, knight f6. Let's play. e3, call this system or something. Okay, let us react with the d5. e6. c5. I think it's alright for black. Why not? f4. Okay, so white wants to play Stonewall. Cool. What do I want? I'm not that sure, but Let's play this. Let's just castle and, well, to see what happens. To see what happens. b6, let's say. Bishop to b7. I mean, is it really dangerous if white just plays g4, g5, and so on? I'm not that sure. I'm not that sure, but maybe it's dangerous, maybe. Let's try this maneuver. Sometimes it works, sometimes not. g4. Oh. So g5 is kind of threat already, right? Again, maybe not that dangerous. Let's see. I'm just trying to ignore everything that happens on the king side. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe not. We will see. We'll see this very, very soon, I do believe. So, okay, let's try knight to d7. Yeah, it looks like a Patzer's play. I mean, black's play in this game, but okay. I mean, I'm not quite sure that everything is so dangerous here. Maybe I'm wrong. So what to do now? Interesting question. Knight g6 is probably too slow. So if I play g6, queen goes to h6, let's say. Knight to f5, bishop takes, pawn takes, rook to f3. Not sure if I have enough time. g6. Okay, let's play g6. Come on, I don't have enough time for debating. Blackmar says that all this looks scary. That's true. Maybe it is already lost or something. But I do hope I have some resources. Maybe I don't. So if rook goes to e8 and then knight to f8, maybe it's too late already. But okay, I don't have the choice. And knight to f8. Whew. No checkmate, I guess. Which means my position is not that bad after all. Instead of rook h3, knight f7 deserved serious attention, I think. And why didn't I play f6? Because I was afraid of knight takes g6. It was annoying. But maybe I will try to play f6 later in this game. Okay, queen to h4. What about just closing everything here? I mean, this move. Maybe it wasn't necessary, but it looks cool. Just to exchange everything. Okay, f6, h7 looks bad for black. But maybe not that bad. Okay, let's play f6. And e3 is hanging. Yeah, let's take it. Oh, I missed knight c4. Shit. Okay, my opponent didn't use this resource. Okay, let's put the rook to the normal position. And I have only 1 minute. So now I have to be faster. Okay, h7 check, knight takes h7. Was possible at any moment. And it's possible still. Okay. What about this? Bishop a6. Whew. Tricky game. Very tricky one. Well, I think my position is just great. I mean, all the pieces are in the game. All the pieces are in the game and very active ones. Oh, come on. Just minor piece up. In addition to all this activity and so on. Yeah, it was a blunder. So what are you doing, my friend? I mean, you're still playing. Why? I mean, it is so lost already. Come on. Let's take it. Bishop goes to c5. You can take it if you want, of course. What? Let's play anything. I don't have enough time, so have to be quick. It's important not to lose this game. Okay, let's blockade it. Is the checkmate or something? Yeah, I think so. Okay, dramatic finish on the short time. And, well, probably White had a checkmate somewhere in the opening. Probably not. I mean, here, not here, of course, here it was already more or less simple to understand what is going on. I mean, after this queen h6, knight to f5, takes, rook to f3, looked very natural, of course. Rook goes to e8. Yeah, and here knight takes f7 was very interesting, instead of rook to h3. So king takes f7, queen takes h7, what is that? I'm forced probably to something like, I don't even know where to go. To e6 or to f8? Let's try e6. Queen takes g6. And here, very interesting position. I mean, if king e7, it is at least a perpetual for white. But probably knight f6 still gives me some chances. G takes f6 is not possible to rook g8. If queen takes f6, queen takes f6, pawn takes f6, well, white has extra material, no questions, but I think my pieces are better, and maybe I have some sort of initiative, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe white still have enough resources to protect himself, and then just extra material will decide. That's the idea. Okay, but knight f7 was definitely an interesting try. I was also thinking of playing something like queen to e7 here, just sacrificing the pawn, okay? So if takes d6, queen takes d6, I think this position is completely fine for white. So rook goes here, I play something like rook e7. Well, the bishop is passive, of course, probably permanently passive. But you have an extra pawn, you have a chance to put the knight to e5. So at least white is not worse here. But after rook h3, I think I'm already doing very well. So knight f8, no checkmate anymore. And I have at least to play something like c4, b5, b4, if I want. But still should be more or less equal. Still should be. After queen h4 and h5, I think it's better just to ignore this pawn, not to take on h6, because after taking on h6, I achieve what I want. So the position becomes open and my bishops start playing. That's the point. Here h7 definitely deserved attention, because if king goes to h8, then knight f7 check. So I have to take on h7, then knight can take on g6, and now I take on e3. So that I was that is the line I was calculating, but I missed the idea of knight c4. So knight c4 looks very interesting. But at the same time, I have an interesting resource here, right? So I can just play king g7. That is what I missed in my calculation. So g6 knight is trapped. Oh, that's very nice. That's very, very nice. Yeah, so this line doesn't work. I mean, it makes no sense. So I just take on h7. And, well, if knight to f7, again, I'm not forced. I'm not forced to take, so I can just go away with the bishop somewhere. And the knight is very close to be trapped. So I think this position is better for black still. Yeah, so definitely after h5, it was necessary not to take on h and passant, right? Not to take on h6, and everything should have been fine. Okay, let's continue. Klinka or what? Sorry for misreading. If it happened, let's play. And again, I'm playing with black. Oh, Don G says, time to go back and check it with the computer. Well, I offer not to use a computer. Just try to check it yourself first. It is much more useful in the sense of improvement. G3. Okay, let's try C6 again. That is a new setup, which looks very interesting. It leads to Catalan in many cases. Castles, castles, and now inevitably Catalan appears. So D5. Well, guys say that knight takes d7 was winning for white. I'm not that sure. I just take with the queen, and then if rook h3, I just play f6. I mean, so what? I'm a pawn down, okay, but then bishop f8 is coming, and f6, the pawn itself is not that healthy. So I don't think knight d7 was winning. But maybe you mean another position. b3. Okay, it's time to make a move, I think. So I'll make this one. Why not check in with an engine? I mean, something different. I mean, not to forget about the engine at all, but to start with the analysis yourself without engine, just to try to understand the position yourself. It leads to improvement. And only then to check it with the engine. That's the idea. Okay. I lost a lot of time thinking about the previous game and, well, talking to you guys. So it's time to be faster. Because I'm a bit tired of losing on time, you know. But now it gets better because, well, only the first game was kind of complete mess with the time. Now my time management is more or less fine. I'm getting back to my normal shape. And I have a good position already. So it's symmetrical, but I think my pieces are a bit more active. So I like my position. Oh, Black Mar, thank you. I'm not in the mood for another Black Mar, Deemer, Gambit. Not today, please. Maybe on Sunday. So we have one more banter with me on Sunday. And you're welcome. Very strange maneuvers, to be honest. Let's put the bishop to a3. I just wanted to do this move at some point, and now it looks like the best moment. Oh, come on. Can I just take it? I mean, the pawn structure is kind of ugly. Yeah, I definitely like my position. But now it's important not to blunder something. I want to make this move. Just to have the control over b4 square, which looks quite good. Oh, Black Mars says, I'm so upset with the help of emoji. Okay, maybe I will play. But maybe not this gambit. I don't know. Maybe even today, I mean. So. But let's focus on this game. Let us focus on this game. So, what white wants to do? Let's wait for a while. Now let's see. What if I just start doubling my rooks over c-file? Okay, let's take it. And let's try this. Oh. Oh. This looks promising. If bishop takes d4, then probably queen to f4, pinning my bishop. So maybe I will just take with the queen. d4. Yeah. It was necessary to take on e5 with the pawn, I guess. Just improving the pawn structure. And for me, maybe it was better not to take an e5 and just to continue with the plan. I mean, rook to c8. But okay. What's done is done, so it's time to think about this concrete position. So I have an extra pawn, but opposing colored bishops are on the board. So it should be not that easy to convert, but we still have a lot of heavy pieces as well. Oh, why didn't I take on e5? Come on. What's wrong with me? Great. Simply great. Okay. I will finally take on e5, but it is another story. What the hell? Man, I'm just playing very stupid chess today. Very stupid chess today. Whew. Fortunately, it was still enough to win this game. But of course, come on, after queen e2, just take on e5, man. Queen takes e5 with an extra exchange, right? Come on. I just played rook to c8. What a stupid move. What a stupid move I made. Okay, now for serious stuff. So, first of all, this maneuver is kind of very bad. I mean, knight a4, knight b2, just to get to d3 and to damage your pawn structure, right? So, it's not good. 100%. So maybe white, I mean, has not a very bad position after that, but it's definitely not ambitious at least, and well, not that great. So instead of that, it's better to play more ambitious chess. Not to take on d5, I mean, too early, maybe not to play even this b3. So after d5, it's possible to forget about this pawn c4, just to continue with the queen c2 and rook d1. In my opinion, it is much more promising continuation. Come on, what's wrong with my English? Rook goes to d1, then bishop to f4, and well, white does everything to prepare e4 in a good situation. So that is what I think could be played. b3 is also a move, no questions, but after bishop a6, of course, it's better to, again, ignore this pawn, just to play queen c2 or to play knight e5, also much more active approach. Because after cd5, I think I don't have problems. But again, instead of rook e1, it's better to develop your pieces on good positions. I mean, bishop f4 deserved attention. Rook e1 is possible, but, well, not that cool. Bishop d2 is definitely not a move here. So bishop belongs to f4 probably. So this sort of maneuver was definitely not good, because I occupy the central square. Now at very least I have a chance just to grab your bishop, right? And after knight b2, well, I think black is already better because of the pawn structure, right? Maybe I should have played better here. Instead of playing queen e7, maybe it was better just to play a5 and forget about this b4 threat, than to put my queen somewhere to f6 maybe, I'm not that sure, or just to start this doubling heavy pieces along the c file, because now c file becomes really critical. So pay attention, my bishop on a3 controls c1, so white never has a chance to occupy the c file normally, or at least to show the normal fight for this file. And another difference in pieces activity is again bishops, right? So bishop g2 is much more passive than my bishop, even potentially. So this bishop is limited not only with my pawns but also with the pawn d3. So this is just bad, should be bad long term. And when I played knight takes c5, maybe it was a mistake, of course. I think it's better to put the rook on c8 and just ignore this knight for some time. if I have a chance, if I don't blunder anything. Because after knight e5, white had a chance to improve the pawn structure with the d takes e5. Black still should be better here because of more active heavy pieces at least, and more vulnerable pawn structure in white's camp, because now if white wants to play more actively, I mean to improve the position of the bishop, maybe it is necessary to play something like d4, after which, well, this d4 becomes a real weakness, so I can attack it with the bishop, with my queen, and so on. And I still have an access to the c file, to some important squares like b4, so I think I'm better here. But another question, if it is enough to squeeze something really tangible out of it. I'm not sure. So that was the best chance. Because after this, I mean, gradually I just get to d4 pawn, and it should be at least much better, maybe already winning, because despite we have opposite colored bishops, it doesn't really matter because we have a lot of other heavy pieces on the board. That's the idea. Okay. Okay, let's continue. So I think, yeah, the next challenger is Blackmar, so I don't even have an excuse to ignore this challenge, so I will accept it. And yes, thanks God, I'm playing with white pieces. So, let's do it, my friend. Maybe another sort of gambit. No. No gambit. At the moment. But you never know. When you play to Blackmar, you never know. Okay, looks like a normal perk. Let's try to do this, something active on the king side. Well, e5 deserves attention, of course. So what about just playing d5? Grabbing some space. Grabbing some space. So now there is a threat of knight g3 or knight f4, so I think I'm forced to play this. Knight e2 move. And f5. Okay. Probably nobody did that before, but I will just take on f5. What about just castling? And now I'm ready to play g4 at some point, unless black plays f4 himself. So let's see. Yeah, f4 is a sensible decision, but it also has some drawbacks. In addition to advantages. So bishop to g4. Can I play, sorry, bishop to f5. Can I play g4 now? F takes g3, knight takes g3. Well, it damages my pawn structure, but helps me to open up a position. It should be not that bad, I guess. Let's try it. And bishop h6 is a threat. So I definitely have to do something like this. But bishop h6 anyway. Okay. So what is next? Queen to h2. Where do I need my queen? I think there is nothing better than h2 at the moment. I know bishop d3 looks sensible, because my bishop is bad and black's light squared bishop is very, very important. Controlling the center and so on. Now, yes, knight to e4 should be played. Oh god, I missed knight c5. Yeah, I'm just very bad today. Just very, very bad. Whew. I don't like my position anymore. Probably there is nothing wrong with that, but still. Looks like no perspectives. Okay. Yeah, g4 was probably not that great. Instead of that, it was better just to concentrate on, I don't know, like knight e4 or something. Just keeping dark squared bishop passive. That was a plan. Okay, so what is now? Yeah. Probably black can even take on e4. Probably. I'm not sure, but in this case, I'll have some sort of activity. After this move, oh, no, nothing. That was just a hallucination. Okay, so bishop takes e5 takes and then queen f6. No, it doesn't work. Okay, so I have to take. So what should I do here? I'm just a pawn down. I'm just a pawn down. Yeah. Bad position. Okay. Let's make a wait and move a bit. Maybe it was too much. Yeah, it was necessary for me to protect the e4 pawn, of course. Because now it looks pretty much losing. Yeah, we'll explain everything after the game, of course, guys. I'm just too focused now because I have only 27 seconds. Oops. I have some chances or what? What happened? Yeah, I do have some chances. No, I have some chances. Come on. Let's do that. Man, I have some chances on the gain side, finally. Oh, great. Oh, what? Yeah, man. I win it. Yeah, I win it. Bone Storm. Yeah. Breakthrough. Queen in 2 moves. Whew! I won it. I won it, man. Yeah, that was very, very tough. So, first of all, let's get back to the opening stage. I'm not a big expert in this line, of course, but I'm not sure that g4 was the best decision. I think another approach could be something like playing to blockade. So just to play knight e4 here, and if bishop takes e4, let's say, f takes e4, and okay, I have a pair of bishops first of all. Maybe my pawn structure is not that great, but bishop g7 probably remains more or less passive. That's the point. And if now black plays f3 at some point, then light squares become just very, very weak, at least, right? So that was the alternative plan. But I thought that g4 would be promising, because in this case, there are a lot of open files on the king side. But in fact, black has very good concentration of pieces there on the king side, right? And actually, I don't have real attacking possibilities. So yeah, I just went away to prevent bishop h6, but bishop h6 anyway was a good move. After here, king goes to h8, and I don't have real chances here. So the only open file is a g file, but black has the equal access to this file, and at any moment black can prevent everything. I think that, well, white has no real attack here, and black can play just positionally without this pawn storm on the queen side, just playing against my weakness on f3. So I decided to play bishop d3 to exchange light squared bishops, just to have this e4 square for my knight. Now, maybe it deserved attention for me just to play knight e4 immediately, trying to get use of light squares, but I was afraid a bit of just bishop takes e4, takes e4, and then something like bishop f4, exchanging my dark squared bishop, after which this knight long term may be even better than my bishop. Long term, I don't mean right now. But probably just ignoring this knight, I don't know, just queen goes somewhere, maybe on g6, but this, by the way, might be interesting for white because of knight g5 open in the h file at least. And well, everything is not clear here. So maybe, yeah, knight e4 deserved attention. I played bishop d3, and after knight e7 I played knight e4, but it wasn't a correct moment because my bishop already occupies a bad position. So if bishop takes e4, I can't take on e4 with the pawn. I mean, I can, but for this pawn structure, my bishop is needed somewhere on f5, so I have to spend a lot of time to maneuver my bishop there. That's why it is no longer a good version of this idea. So maybe, well, I don't have anything better here. So bishop d3, well, was probably already a bad move. So I played knight e4, but after bishop e4 and knight c5, I think black simply has no problems. The bishop is quite good on h6, by the way. Just controlling a lot of important squares, and, well, my bishop is not that active. And my pawn structure is much more vulnerable here after this inevitable exchange on e4. That's why I didn't like my position. So knight takes e4, pawn takes e4, queen f3, and here I hallucinated once again. So I played rook g1, hoping for the sacrifice on e5, but in fact I have nothing there. So after queen e4, correct move, rook e1 and queen f3. Actually, bishop e5 leads to nowhere. So pawn takes, queen takes, and then queen f6. I can see nothing here. Okay, I can take on c7, but, well, I do believe it is not enough to compensate a minor piece. If I take on e5 with the rook, it's still not that great, I think. So it takes here, rook f6. And I don't think I have anything serious here. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can't see it simply. So queen to h4. Okay, another rook to f8. Come on. Nothing. I mean, at least I don't see anything specific here. So black is all right, in my opinion. Yeah, I can't deflect the queen seriously. So everything is fine. That was my mistake. After queen takes d5, I do have rook takes e5. So in this case, yeah, maybe I have some activity. Of course, black is not forced to take on e5. No, it is possible to go away with the queen somewhere, but I thought that, okay, at least position is open, so we'll have some tricks to compensate the missing material. But queen f3, just a great reaction. Yeah, after that, black is very close to winning. So a3, rook f5, bishop to h4, another rook to f8, rook to g2. By the way, instead of rook f8, bishop f4 was interesting. Looks like more or less forcing me to exchange queens, right? And after this exchange, I think, yeah, white simply has no, even a single chance. Yeah, so bishop f4 deserves serious attention here. Yeah, rook f8 gives me a chance to play rook g2. So now if bishop goes to f4, still was a possible move, by the way. At least I have a chance to save queens on the board, at least. But still, bishop f4 I think was better than taking on h5. Because after taking on h5, I do have some chances. So now h file is open, right? So instead of having only g file to do something, I now have two files, right, to create some threats. So I played rook to g1. It was kind of desperation, but then I noticed that, well, position is not that simple for black, because now I have a threat of bishop f6. So let's say if black does anything, let's say plays b5, I play bishop to f6. So if rook takes, then rook g8 checkmate. If queen takes, I just take on h5 with an extra exchange. And it was something very similar to what happened in the game. What to do? I can't see a simple defense here. I mean, if bishop goes to f4 here, then still bishop f6, and then rook goes to g8, right? So if rook goes to f5, I mean, comes back simply, then bishop e7 deserves attention and looks like very annoying move. Because now the rook is hanging, the rook is pinned to the back rank, and bishop on h6 is hanging as well. Because if bishop f4 here, just an intermediate attack of my queen, I can just take here, I think. So rook g8 is a checkmate threat, so black has no time for taking my queen. At least, something like that. So that was planned, I mean, bishop to e7. And yeah, after queen f7, it was kind of, yeah, bishop f6, queen f6, and queen h5. And looks like black simply has no normal defense, because bishop can't really get back to g7. Maybe it deserved attention to play something like bishop to f4 here. I mean, to have h6 after rook h1 or something. But, well, even this looks very bad, let's say, in the view of rook g6 and then takes on h6 or something. Yeah, so white should be very good here. Very good position, right? So, was a good game anyway. So probably I have to improve white's play in the future fight. Okay. Actually, let's continue with the last game for today. Shadowmate, I accept your challenge. And next meeting will be on Sunday. Yeah. If I didn't confuse anything, and I think I didn't, on Sunday at 8 o'clock as far as I remember, but everything will be specified very soon. I mean the schedule. There will be one more Banter Blitz with me. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Bishop e7. Oh, can I take just an e5 or not? I will try it. Okay. I'm a bit tired already, of course. Maybe I blunder or something, but I'm not sure it is. It's like a deja vu. So I was playing with black several games ago, and I also lost the pawn almost the same way. And I don't think black has anything specific here. So d5. Okay, let's take it simply. And what about just d4? Extra pawn. Extra pawn. I don't want to say for nothing because, well, black has a pair of bishops. But still, it is an extra pawn after all. So let's play knight to c3. Control an e4 square. h6. Okay. h3. Also looks like important move. c5. Now what? To take on c5 or just to play bishop e3? I think bishop e3 is more interesting. So tomorrow, another question, from Miktal about the next game of World Championship. I don't know actually what to expect. It's very hard to predict now. I can only hope. I hope that Magnus will finally come back. 100%, just like the strongest player on earth and will win the game. But everything can happen. Looks like Sergei Karyakin made a great work preparing for this match. He appeared really tough player and tough opponent for Magnus. So everything can happen, unfortunately, for Magnus fans. And fortunately for Karyakin's fans. Rook d8. Okay, position is kinda a bit complicated, so let's make some easy moves and see what will happen. So Chronic Student says Karyakin will win. Well, who knows? Maybe. I do hope he won't. Sorry. Can I take on d5 here? I'm not sure, but let's check. So knight takes d5, rook takes d5, rook takes c4. But this opens up diagonal a8, h1. I don't want to risk this way. So what to do instead? Just to play something like queen to g4 or king to h2, I don't know. f6 is a threat, kind of. Not very dangerous right away because I have knight to g6, so maybe queen to h5. Queen to h5 deserves attention. Very interesting move. So let's try it. Maybe it's just a blunder, I don't know. Maybe it's not. So yeah, bishop takes c5, queen takes c5, king goes to h2, looks like saves me. Yeah, let's do it. Now f7 is heading. And knight on e4 as well, so knight d6 saves both. Guys. Okay, so how to continue this? Maybe rook to d1 and then after d4 something like knight to e4. Yeah, looks promising at least. Unless I have anything better. I don't know. I'm already very, very tired. But at least I have all pieces centralized. So it can't be that bad. And my opponent also has all the pieces centralized. Also can't be that bad. Well, okay. So knight takes d6. Rook takes d6. What about c4 now? Bishop takes c4 simply. What about rook takes d4, queen takes d4, queen takes f7? This is not enough, of course. So f6 is coming. Not sure what to do. Not sure what to do. Okay. So let's play this. I mean, it will be probably a draw. So I missed something. Definitely. But I still have some chances. Still have, I think. Yeah, probably I just overestimate my position. Okay, what can I do here? Nothing specific. And no time, by the way. Yeah, so let's just simplify everything. Oh, that was a move. Yeah. Really nice. Yeah, cool. Yeah, great. Just great. That is the best game of today. Guys, you were wrong. So I've lost in the very end. Very good play, Shadow Mate. Congratulations. Looks like your first win against me. Well, the opening was not cool, but then you just came back. I made a lot of, well, bad moves. Actually, queen h5 was okay, but then after bishop c5, bishop takes, queen takes here, knight d6, probably I had already something decisive, but I missed it. Probably not. Probably everything was still all right. So extra pawn. Yeah, maybe here it was better for me not to play this rook d1 and knight to e4, and just to play something like knight f3, pinning your d5 pawn, right? Just to prepare everything gradually. You definitely have some sort of compensation because your pieces are active, but I still believe that there's just an extra pawn. So nothing specific. So I can centralize my queen through e5 and then to d4 and actually come up with the full control. over position and just start converting my extra pawn. But again, I'm too tired to evaluate everything correctly, so maybe I missed something here and black is already doing well. So everything may happen here. So I just congratulate you with this great game, Shadow Mate. The end of the game was just fantastic, yeah. So I definitely missed this bishop e4 move. Instead of knight e5, it was better for me probably to do something like, I don't even know what. Rook e3, still bishop e4. Yeah, position is already not that cool. Yeah, no questions. Yeah, so maybe just to go away with the rook from the d file. I don't know, but black is already maybe better even. So yeah, maybe somewhere here I missed also something. So after rook d6, it is an interesting moment. So queen f3 was just a bad move, but I didn't see a good defense against f6. I didn't see a good defense, so not sure at all. But queen f3 appeared just awful move. Okay, so thanks a lot, guys, for being with me this evening. Do not forget to take part in the contests. The rules are very simple, so you have to share one of the videos or a lot of my videos from my YouTube channel anywhere you want. So your task is to collect a lot of different links just to send me the proof. And if you will be the best person who shares my videos, I mean, if you will come up with the best quantity of links, I just want to underline this word quantity, not quality. So quantity means here, then you will win a 1 hour individual Banter Blitz session with the analysis and guidance for improvement. So just be the first, be the best, and you will win a great prize, I think. So see you Sunday, guys, and have a nice weekend, and prepare well for the next Banter Blitz, because as you can see, I'm starting to get back to my shape. Well, of course, this last game was not that cool, but it is not because of my bad shape, because of my not very good state of mind already, because it is very late, right? So be ready to meet a real monster on Sunday. I will do everything to be very good prepared. I will do everything to beat you all. So thanks a lot. Take care. Bye bye.